people who don't have a home in Cincinnati and across the country are the focus of a new executive order from President Trump.
Yeah, critics of the directive are concerned it's going to lead to forced lockups and undo our area's declining overdose death rate. WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes now live for us with a closer look at what the executive order says. Todd?
Yeah, Mike and Ashley, efforts to end homelessness by helping people who live on the street find stable housing first, followed by services, are in jeopardy tonight, especially if they're paid for by the federal government. What the head of the Greater Cincinnati Homeless Coalition feared might happen has now come to pass.
It would be bad enough if it was targeting a small group of people, but this is targeting a lot of us.
Josh Spring is talking about this executive order from President Trump. Designed to tackle America's homelessness problem, the order calls for an end to federal support for policies that help people living on the streets find stable housing as a first step to a more stable life.
It's just the idea, if you're human and you're breathing, you deserve a place to live, right? And if you are somebody who's dealing with addiction or mental illness, we know that you're going to be able to deal with those much better if you have a foundation.
Equally alarming to Spring is the president's push to use civil commitment tactics to restore public order. That means forcing someone into treatment whether they're ready for that step or not.
We're going to put you in a jail, we're going to put you in an institution, and you don't get a say. And is that what we want? And I don't think most of us want that.
In addition to emphasizing civil commitments, the order also contains language that suggests that harm reduction vending machines like this one downtown could be illegal.
The confusion is, does this apply to everybody?
The president wants to tackle drug use tied to homelessness by defunding harm reduction programs. Tom Synan, an expert on addiction, says those programs have saved countless lives in Greater Cincinnati.
There are multiple people, even those without addiction, that use these harm reduction materials like Narcan and fentanyl test strips.
Synan worries the executive order will upend years of progress in our region's fight against deadly drugs.
It's worked. We've seen it here. We're saving money, saving lives, and connecting more people to treatment.
Now, Tom Synan says he understands the president's desire to reduce homelessness, but to him, getting rid of programs that, federal support rather, for programs that have helped save lives and help people rejoin the ranks of productive and tax-paying citizens makes little sense. Reporting out here at the station tonight, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
Hey, Todd, any idea what happens next now that the president has issued the executive order called Ending Crime and Disorder on America's streets?
Yeah, that's the title, Mike. Not exactly clear what is going to happen next, and that's why a lot of social safety advocates are really on edge tonight. The order directs U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and the heads of other federal agencies, including housing and health, to figure out where federal money is flowing so cuts can be made. I did reach out to the Hamilton County Public Health Department. A spokesperson for that department said they're reviewing the order's potential impact, so we're all going to be waiting and seeing what happens next. Mike?
All right, Todd Dykes helping us better understand that tonight. Thanks so much, Todd.